Subtrendy's Tabletop Gaming Show. I'm Thomas, and I'm here today with Emily again. And we are playing Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers.
Yep.
Yeah, so like if you would ask me what kind of my first tabletop game was that really got me into it, chances are we'd say Catan, right? Like that's when Laurel and Alex really kind of got us into it. But honestly, like we were playing Magic way before that.
I guess you're right, yeah.
Yeah, like I started playing Magic in 2010. You started playing not long after I met you.
No, it must have been 2012 probably.
Yeah, so I always like wanted to do Magic on the show here, not like magic tricks, but like, you know, Magic the Gathering on the show.
Illusions.
Yeah. But it just isn't that visual of a game.
It's
and then
not.
I found this and I'm like, this is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a great way to kind of show Magic the Gathering on the show. And this is a really kind of an adaptation of the card game Magic the Gathering to more of a board game format, which is really cool. It's not the first adaptation we've done, actually. I wanted to note that Rebellion, one of our first videos we did, was actually an adaptation of a computer game, Star Wars Rebellion. Actually, a pretty close adaptation, too, so just kind of an interesting note there. But yeah, so Magic the Gathering Arena of the Planeswalkers. We're going to go ahead and go through the rules real fast in this video, and then we'll do some playthroughs in the next couple weeks. So in Arena of the Planeswalkers, you take on the role of a Planeswalker, much like you do in the card game Magic the Gathering, which I think is kind of a hard concept for people to get. A lot of times people think, you know, I attack your creatures, you attack mine. Whereas in reality, you're attacking each other.
Yes.
This game makes it a little bit more apparent, I think. In this case, we're a couple turns in. I'm Liliana Vess, and you are Gideon Jura.
I love Liliana Vess.
Yeah.
She's one of my favorite Planeswalkers.
Yeah, you'll recognize a lot of these names. I'm excited for you to kind of get into this. We haven't really played this game too much yet, so we're excited. There's a lot of cards. I'll throw out some cards on the screen that are actually named Magic the Gathering cards. Okay. You've got your hand there, is that right?
Yes.
And they have similar effects, but adapted more to this board game. I love it. I think it's a really cool idea. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, one thing to note about this tutorial is I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of rename some things than what the board game does it, because the board game kind of like named things in a way that's different than the card game, and I think that it might be easier for this tutorial for me to just rename it what it is in the card game. For instance, and let's go ahead and get started. At the beginning of your turn, each player draws a card. So it's actually my turn now. So I'll go ahead and draw a card.
Then I draw a card too?
You did not draw a card. It's not your turn
yet. Each player.
I mean each player at the beginning of their own turn.
Okay.
Okay. So I've gone ahead and drawn a card. Now this is basically the upkeep phase in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of like you do in Magic. So now what I'm going to do is right now I have to choose one of my army cards here. And this is a prearranged thing that we've done at the beginning of the game. I'm going to go ahead and choose the only army card I have available right now, Liliana Vess, right there, right there. She has a couple of abilities that I can use. Looks like I can't really use any of them right now. But I will go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and activate her. So she's going to be the creature that I'm using in this turn. Now, this is what I would like to call the first main phase. The game calls it something else. I'm going to call it the first main phase because that's what it is in the card game. So now that I've chosen her, I can go ahead and use abilities or spells or enchantments. Spells or enchantments, you don't have to tap mana like you do in the board game or the card game. You simply have to play them. You can play up to 3 spells in a turn. In addition, well, we'll go ahead and do spells first. So I'm going to go ahead and just play one right now. I'll play this enchantment on your Planeswalker, Despise, and that gives you 1 less toughness because you have power and toughness, just like the card game. So that's going to make your attacks on from your Planeswalker a little less potent.
Do you mean like defense?
No, toughness is attack.
Yeah, but isn't the other one defense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, power and toughness. So power is 1 less power. You're right. So I'm going to go ahead and move then. No, not yet. Oh, shoot. I'll go ahead and move then, that's fine. My movement is 6. I'm going to go ahead and move over to this glyph, which is another thing that we have here. When I move on it, it flips over, and this is a toughness glyph. So it gives me +1 toughness as long as I'm standing on it. There's a couple other glyphs that do various things. Typically, there are 2 different kinds, though. There's persistent glyphs, which, as long as you're standing on them, they continue to grant you the boons.
Okay.
And then there's also some that once you flip them over, they're a one-time effect. For instance, knowledge glyphs, you draw a card and it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and let's see what I got for range here. I've got a range of 6. So I'm going to go ahead and stay here, and I'm going to go ahead and attack your
Rocks Veteran.
Yeah, your Rocks Veteran. So I have a range of 6, so I can do that because you're only 2 away. So to do that, we roll dice. And just like in Magic the Gathering, you look at the power versus the toughness. Since I'm the attacker, and I have a power of 4, as you can see on my card, I'll be rolling 4 dice. What is your toughness on your Rocks Veteran?
And that's the shield?
Yep.
2, but it says each Rocks Veteran gets +1 toughness for each Rocks Veteran you control adjacent to it. So this one's going to get an extra 1 because
You're
of
right.
this guy.
You're right.
So 3.
So you get 3 dice.
I'm pretty good at reading.
Yeah. All right, so what we're rolling for, I'm rolling for swords. Only the swords count for me. You're
And I'm
rolling
rolling
for
for
shields. Yep.
1 shield.
So I roll 3 swords, so we just take the net difference. I do 2 damage to your Rocks Veteran. So we'll go ahead and put those damage cubes, right on his base here.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. All right. Now, that ends my main phase here, or my combat phase. Now we're going to go ahead and go into my second main phase. And this is once again where I can play spells. I can also, one thing I can do during this and the first main phase is put in creatures. And I can put in up to 2 squad units a turn. Right now I only have 2 in my group. I'm going to go ahead and bring in some Blighted Reavers. So that's these 3 guys here. I can put them in any spot that I have line of sight to. So I'm going to go ahead, it has to be 5, no more than 5 spaces away though. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, put one there, there, and there. I'm going to go ahead and surround your Planeswalker with my Blighted Reavers.
Look at their hands.
Yeah, they're pretty freaky, man. So they cannot attack this turn. They have Summoning Sickness. There are creatures with haste who can attack the turn they come in, just like in the card game again. But these guys don't have that. So they're pretty much done. Line of sight real fast, I'll just kind of note. The quick answer is line of sight is can your player see it? Mm-hmm. The long answer is you look at the little green dot on your player card, and that's basically their eyes. And you would think if they can see any single part of the other player.
Green dot.
There's a green dot on your player card.
Oh, I
on
see.
the little models there. So for instance, Liliana Vess here, you wouldn't think she'd be able to see this guy, right? Like an Imperial Assault, her line of sight would have been blocked. But she can actually see a lot of him. So
Yeah.
she does have line of sight to him.
So
in
it's
fact.
normal in this game to get up and go around the table and look to see if your person could see
And
them.
it's usually pretty obvious. I mean, like if Liliana was like behind this wall, she's not going to have line of sight, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn to you. We would move the turn forward 1. Some of the games do have a set number of turns for the most part. There's a couple of scenarios and stuff in addition to this. And it's your turn. So you're going to begin with your upkeep phase where you draw a card. All right. Now you're going to go ahead and choose your squad unit that you want to use.
Okay. I'm going to use my Rocks Veterans, because that's all I have out there.
Okay.
I'm going to move them. Their movement, is 5. So where did I go? Oh, shoot. 1, 2, 3. And I want to attack yours. Can I attack now?
You can. All right, so a quick note on movement before we go into this attack. Say, for instance, that I have this zombie here.
Okay.
If you notice, this is elevated terrain,
Yes.
right? Okay. So if I wanted to move up to this space, it would cost 2 movements.
It's like
1
2.
for the space up, 1 for the space forward.
That makes sense.
If I was here, well, I'll put them here. If I was here and I wanted to move on to this space, it would cost 4. 1 for the space forward, 3 for the 3 spaces up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you cannot move to a spot that is higher than your size. For instance, at the bottom of the card here, you can see Restless Zombies have a size medium of 4.
Okay.
So they cannot move anything higher. Also, if I go ahead and move off of this, and it's a size higher than me, then I take some falling damage.
Okay. Is it like 1 dice per the difference?
Oh, I would have to look that up. I'll go ahead and throw it up on the screen. What it is. That I don't remember that part. But yeah, that's just a couple movement notes. Another thing is water counts as lower terrain than the land around it, just because it's a little bit lower. And so if you're in a water space here, it would take 2 to get back onto land.
Okay.
In addition, if you move into a water space, you end your move there. So you wouldn't be able to move again until the next turn. So it slows you down a little bit.
And you can only move like to 1 more water space maybe.
Sorry?
Like if you were here and you wanted to move here, even if your move was 5, you would end your space there.
Yeah,
or end your movement.
Right. So it would slow you down a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this attack here.
Yeah.
So how many dice do you need for each of those Rex veterans?
They are 3 each.
Okay. And Liliana has a defense of 3 as well.
So do I need 9 altogether?
You can just go ahead and do each one at a time. Alright, Liliana blocks 1, you do 1 damage, so no damage goes through on that one. Next one right here, Liliana blocks 0.
2.
So Liliana gets 2 damage. Let me make these a little more handy. Now,
I like those little damage markers.
Those are cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
Since Liliana is a unique figure, I can go ahead and put these on her card. Last one.
2.
Liliana blocks 1. So 1 goes through. Liliana's health is her life. She has 7. She's fine still. A little beat up, but she's not dead.
Yeah.
Alright.
So
now that ends your combat phase, what we would call the combat phase here. Now you're in your second main phase. Is there anything else you want to do?
Yes, I want to play Fell the Mighty. Destroy all non-white squad creatures adjacent to a white planeswalker you control.
Oh man.
So I'm going to destroy all non-white creatures adjacent to Gideon Jura.
That's all 3 of these guys. Ouch.
Goodbye.
So these guys all go into the creature graveyard along with their card. They're out of there. I cannot bring them back. Additionally, if you run out of spells in your deck, you're out of luck. You don't get to draw any more spells. So eventually the game kind of winds down a little bit. Eventually we would just kind of duke it out until whatever objective is achieved. Some of them are destroying things. Some of them are just killing all the creatures. Some of them are specifically killing the planeswalker.
I really like this because it's simple, but it's fun. It's fairly true to the card game. This is very cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited most of all for our playthrough coming next week, starting next week. I think Andrew might join us. We might have Jess. I'm not sure about that yet.
We'll see.
And yeah, we're going to duke it out. We'll see you then. Check out the episode of Subtrending coming up in a couple days on Sunday. Games Will Show, I believe, is on Wednesday now. Yeah, so we got a lot of good stuff coming. Stay tuned.